Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to part 3 of our mini tutorial series for getting started in surviving Mars. In the last episode we had a bit of a detour and looked at how to get resources moving around properly and how the drones work. And a lot of people have been having a little bit of trouble figuring that out. But in this episode we're going to carry on building up our base ready for humans to join us. The main things we need are water and oxygen. As if by magic, we need water production coming up there, which is fantastic. Now, if you followed on this tutorial exactly, you should have a way of getting some water up and running with a moisture evaporator. If so, plonk it down. We'll look at pipes in a moment. But if not, you're going to be looking for one of these little guys on the ground here somewhere. And this here has some 7,237 drops of water, buckets of water, I don't know. That's how many it has. It's a very low grade, but that doesn't really matter too much. This is the water we're going to be looking at here. So right click, we're going to set up a water extractor. It requires concrete and machine parts, which we have. It requires some electricity, which we also have. And it's going to take a machine part to keep it maintained. It's going to produce 5 water for us. That's pretty great. When you place something down that uses pipes, you'll see 4 or 5 or 6 or however many little blobs around it there that have a pipe image on it. Basically, that's where the pipe can be connected from. So bear that in mind when you're placing it down, how the pipes are going to work. You can also click your middle mouse button to rotate it if that makes things easier for you. We're going to try and sync stuff up this way. So let's place that down there. As long as the water deposit sign there is within the shaded area, it's going to pick up the water. So we're going to click that down there, and then we'll be able to run the pipe down here, and we'll be able to join up with our power cable here. While that's getting built, let's just double check we've got drones in the vicinity. We have, that's fine. So we'll have everything we need there to get that set up. While we're doing that, we'll place down our power lines ready for it. You'll find those within power. It's got its own area there. And we'll bring them up from here and then up here, and it will connect like that, nice and easy. Next thing we're going to do is pipes. You'll find that under life support. Here we go, pipes. Pipes work for both water and oxygen, same pipe. It must be like a dual core thing. And we're going to have to run these from the water here down to wherever we're going to take the water eventually, which will be the dome where people are going to live. But for now, we don't technically need any pipes at all. But what we're going to do is place them. I personally like to place the pipes on top of the electricity just to keep things neat. Okay, you don't have to do this, but I personally think it's a good thing to do. So we're going to click here, connect it to building, which is great, and then we're going to bring it down here, and we'll carry them on down here. Like I say, at the moment they've got nowhere to go because we haven't got a dome built out, but the pipes are going to be needed. And then what we're going to do is place our oxygen off the side here as well. Careful that we're getting in the way of this concrete. We have loads of concrete here. We've also got another load here as well, so I'm not too worried about going over the top of this and not using it properly. Okay, so for the oxygen, we need a Moxie. A Moxie is going to basically pull oxygen out of the atmosphere and turn it into a usable thing. It's going to produce 2 oxygen per day. So we're going to click Moxie, and we want this connected to the pipe. So here then, the pipe is already in place. So as long as one of these pipe hexagons here go over the pipe, we can click, and that will automatically join up when the Moxie has been built. Now, these are great, producing water. It'll tell us here that it's not actually going to be creating any because there's no demand. It can produce 3 more water if needed. Alright, so we can do hourly production of 3. That may well be because we're a little bit further away from the thing there. But overall, that's fine. It can create 3 water if it's needed, but it won't be doing it because at the moment there's nothing that's using the water until we get the dome set up. And the same will go for the Moxie as well. Now, these are great, but there's a possibility that they're going to break down. There's a possibility that they're going to get hit by a meteorite. There's a possibility that Diomednovic is going to come out and jump up and down on them. That doesn't happen. But either way, at any point, these can break. So what we want to do is have a backup plan. We want a little bit of stuff stored up. So both water and oxygen have ways of being stored, one being the oxygen tank and the other being the water tower. I'll let you guess which one does which. Again, these are just going to have to be placed off the pipe. They don't need to be next to where they're generated. They can be right out the way. So let's place them down here so they're a little bit away. We'll do one of each. Again, all you have to make sure is that one of the hexagonal pipe images there is placed against the pipe, and they will automatically join up. These will be built really quick because they're right next to here, and you'll see there we've got some oxygen. So what will happen here then is these will now start producing because they've got somewhere to send the goods, okay? So this will be doing 2 oxygen per hour. This will be doing 3 water per hour, and they'll be sent over here. You'll see here that we've got a water grid is now... this actual building is stored 9 water, that's great, and the old grid itself is producing 3 an hour and has 9 stored. So if we have more than one of these, clicking on one will show you in the top bracket here what the actual building itself is doing. The bottom bracket here will show you what the whole planet is doing regarding water, and the exact same for oxygen. So this one here is storing 14 oxygen, and then here the overall grid itself is storing 14, now 16 oxygen. As these guys get built up and working, you'll see that this bar here will go up. That's the maintenance bar. When that one gets to the top, it will require whatever this image is here to get it back down again and to keep working. So here, this deterioration level is 7%. When it gets up to 100, it will require 1 piece of metal. A little drone will bring it over and basically fix it back up again. Not only do you have this, actually in the game, on the map itself, you'll be able to tell because the buildings will get dirty, they'll get nasty, and then when they get built up again, they get nicely repaired and all clean looking. The water also produces waste, much like the concrete builder does. So what we're going to have to do is add down a dumping site here, because otherwise they're going to be dragging the concrete. In fact, I think that's exactly what this guy's doing. They're dragging the waste all the way down to here. So now we've got that one stuff there. They'll be able to just drop it back and forth there. Makes the drones work much, much smarter. And I think you might saw him just do it then, actually, which is pretty good. So we've got water being created and stored. We've got oxygen being created and stored. One thing we haven't got stored is power. So you'll see the Stirling generators here. Again, they constantly produce the power. If you've got solar panels, obviously they only produce power when it's sunlight. If these get broken or if it's nighttime, we're going to want to be grabbing power from somewhere else, and to do that we're going to build a battery. Again, you'll find them in power in this game. They're called power accumulators. And basically, they have to be sitting so that they're near the tube there. This one will connect here, and they just store up power, and it gets used if needed. You'll see these guys here will be bringing the polymers and the metals and the concrete, or whatever else it is. 3 concrete, 2 polymers. It'll go up really super quick, and then it'll flatten down. This again, it's a great way to keep an eye on it and to see if it's full up again. I don't know how it's actually meant to work, but basically the power will fill this thing up. You'll actually see it happen. It fills up like a bouncy house or a bouncy castle. You'll see it fills up as it fills up with power. It's currently got 24 being stored. So now we have all we need to get basic humans on the planet. Okay, we've got power, we've got water, we've got oxygen. I would recommend getting ourselves a little bit more comfortable though before we actually bring humans here. So what I'm going to actually do is build a second Moxie because you can't really have enough oxygen coming in. So we'll bring that round like so. Let's try and make it look a little bit cool if we can. There we go. That'll join up nicely with that one. We're also going to have a little bit of a solar block. So let's go down into here to the large solar panels. Regarding large and small ones, the small ones are cheaper to build in the first place. They require 1 maintenance, but they're going to produce 2 electricity every hour and require a 0.5 metal maintenance when they need maintaining. The large ones, on the other hand, cost 4 to build, so it is more expensive, but they're going to produce 5 power and only require 1 maintenance. So the large solar panel is more expensive to build in the first place, but in the long run it's actually cheaper to run. So in that case we're going to go for our large solar panels. We're going to build a little bit of a grid of them, but rather than having to keep going like this and building them, if you hold down shift click you'll be able to select multiples of them. So let's quickly put down a little nice little grid there, which is great. We built this a bit funky. We should have built that across one because we're going to have a weird power cable now, but even still, let's build the power cable here. We'll bring them round and like so. That way we've got power cables touching all of these. You'll see it's currently daytime, so these guys will kick in. Make sure these aren't too close to concrete or anything like that because dust will get on them. and they'll start running at a lesser capacity. There we go. We've got plenty of power coming in now. This is going to be full almost straight away, so let's build a few more of these so that we can get some power stored. What you want to do is not have a habit of building too much close to each other, because if we do have a meteorite shower, a meteor is going to come down. If it hits here, it's got a big chance of taking all of these batteries out, all of these solar panels out. So I would recommend building these little sort of sub-bases of power and oxygen and things like that just around the place. Maybe do another little set over here, another little set over here. Spread them out a little so that you know, if there's any nasty natural disaster come in, it's not going to completely wipe out your grid. That's basically what you're going to want to be looking for here. Let's build a few more pieces of life support. Let's have a second oxygen tank here. So we've got what we need. They're quite happy to have those overlap as long as some of them can get to where they need to. We'll have another water tower here. They won't quite overlap. Oh, they do. We can overlap them like that. That's quite smart, actually. In fact, I might even get a third water tower in there, and we get like a nice little array of them. So these are all been built pretty close together. We're going to make sure that next time we build some air and water, we're going to bring those out. Clicking on any of these will give us an idea of how much the demand is. At the moment, the demand is 0 because we have nothing that's drinking oxygen or water, and there ain't going to be that much using power. That's basically going to be the oxygen producer, the water producers, and our concrete here. But otherwise, we're actually doing pretty good. If we right-click anywhere on the map that isn't a building, we'll be able to see how all of this is doing regarding resources. So at the moment, we have a 6 energy power surplus, a 4 oxygen surplus, and a 3 water surplus, because nothing's really being used there. And then we have 97 metal, 51 concrete, and advanced resource-wise, we have 7 polymers, 15 electronics, 11 machine parts, hashtag spooky door, and no fuel. Okay, so now we have a great power grid, we have a great oxygen and everything else. You'll see that this guy has stopped here. That is because this little dude is full up of concrete. He's not going to be getting any more concrete coming into it. And the reason that's happened is because our concrete space here has filled up. We actually built a second concrete blob down here in the last tutorial, but I went back to a previous save. So what we're going to do is go into storage, concrete depot. We're going to place that there. You'll see instantly all of these little dudes come in. They come and take the concrete from here. They're going to place it down here. These are always considered temporary, and this thing powers back into life, which is fantastic. These are the sort of things you've got to keep an eye on, make sure everything's running smoothly, and we've got a surplus as much as possible of all our different resources. In the next tutorial, we're going to be bringing humans onto the planet. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you're not already and you want to see some more Surviving Mars content, click that subscribe button. I'm really into this game at the moment, so there's going to be loads of content on the channel for this game over the next few weeks. If you'd like to leave any comments, queries or suggestions, you can do so down in the comments below. If you'd like to have a chat, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at JohnTSparrow. And if you'd like to join in with the Geekism community, you can do so over at our Geekism Discord server. You'll find the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.